When the specialized transport truck slowly rolls out of the farm, everything looks like a routine operation. The crate is secured, the area checked one last time. No one lingers longer than necessary, but few realize that the moment the truck moves isn't the most critical part of the night. What happened before that determines the outcome. In wild boar management, success isn't decided in the action itself. It's in assessing risk and making decisions before intervention. For weeks, security cameras have captured an alarming reality. The herd is steadily expanding its foraging territory. At first, they stayed at the field's edge, then near the fence, and eventually some individuals began approaching the livestock pens. Not every appearance poses an immediate threat, but when the safety buffer shrinks, risk quickly escalates. Even a single collision can damage pen structures, panic livestock, and threaten human safety. On a farm, the most dangerous moment isn't when the boars appear, it's when safe distance starts disappearing. At this point, the question isn't whether to intervene, but how to manage the situation without creating greater risks. Before midnight, a perimeter trap is deployed with a clear goal: create a temporary control zone, not a sudden intervention. Unlike traditional containment traps, this system is primarily for observing and classifying behavior, not for final action. This space allows the herd to move naturally, without pressure, giving a true picture of individual behavior. Through monitoring, clear patterns emerge. Some follow the group, some remain passive, and a few repeatedly approach the pens. Not all individuals pose the same level of risk. This stage isn't about immediate action, it's about gathering enough behavioral data before deciding how to intervene. The fastest option would be to trap and handle the entire herd. But in U.S. wildlife management, that rarely leads to sustainable results. Mass intervention often scatters the herd, makes behavior unpredictable, and increases the likelihood of boars returning. Instead, a selective approach is used. Individuals showing direct pressure on production areas are the focus. This minimizes the risk of scattering the herd and prevents boars from learning to avoid future control measures. The goal isn't maximum intervention, it's controlled impact within long-term management limits. Here, Field experience and operational discipline outweigh speed. Once key pressure points are managed, the area is placed under active monitoring. No escalation occurs, no new conflicts arise. This prepares the next steps in a safe and controlled environment. Early detection of returning individuals is possible before the situation gets out of control. Transport might seem straightforward, but it's actually the stage most prone to incidents if procedures aren't followed. Each animal is clearly categorized, secured correctly, and loaded according to a pre-planned sequence. No rushing, no unnecessary delay. Every step ensures safety for humans, vehicles, and the surrounding area, both during and after transport. Afterward, the area continues to be monitored to assess the real-world effectiveness of the intervention. Effective control doesn't come from brute action. It comes from knowing when to intervene, how much to intervene, and when to stop. With wild boars increasingly damaging U.S. farms, this approach isn't about intensity, it's about responsible, sustainable risk management. Situations like this show that success comes from timely decisions, not force. The journey to protect farms and communities continues in the following episodes. Like, share, and subscribe to follow the action. I am a farmer in South Texas where corn and soybean fields stretch out endlessly. But behind the peaceful facade lies a war that few people see. The war with feral pigs. Feral pigs have long been a vicious invasive species, destroying crops, digging up soil, and confronting hunters when cornered. In recent years, I have learned to become a hunter, not out of passion, but for a living. The war is often fought with traps and guns. The trap I chose was a corral trap, a circular trap with a trapdoor made from wire mesh panels about 1.5 meters high. Inside, we baited it with corn mixed with fat and wine, which wild boars particularly love. They can't resist the smell. To effectively trap wild boars, we need to set the traps several days in advance so that the wild boars are not alert. To effectively trap wild boars, you need to install surveillance cameras to capture the wild boar's activity time. After many times approaching the corn bait without encountering danger, more wild boars will appear. Through the camera, we know the time and number of wild boars entering the trap. We can remotely control the trap to trigger and capture the prey. Early in the morning, we moved to the trap location to harvest wild boars. Although we knew in advance that there were many wild boars in the trap, we still felt nervous when facing them. As we approached the trap, the wild boars panicked and rushed at the bars, growling and trying to break through the cage. We did not shoot them immediately, but looked around, making sure that the wild boars did not fall into the trap. When we saw no danger around, we aimed and killed each wild boar. Each accurate shot took down the wild boar immediately, ending it quickly. That was the moral rule we set, which was not to let them suffer for long. To get a quick and clean shot, we needed to aim precisely at the head and chest. After killing these wild boars, we loaded them onto the truck. The wild boars were so heavy that my whole body almost swayed. These wild boars would be processed to make full use of them. Nothing would be wasted. After bringing the wild boars back from the traps, we returned to the guardhouse on the south side.
As night falls and everything slips into slumber, John's backyard comes alive with heavy thuds and rustling sounds. These are the signs of a massive wild boar herd, which has repeatedly ravaged his vegetable garden and dug up craters in the yard. After countless sleepless nights, John decides it's time to take action. Today, with iron traps prepared and ready, he sets them up around the house, determined to eliminate these troublesome boars. Follow him as the battle begins. After careful observation, John sets the first trap in a flat area frequently visited by wild boars. The large iron trap requires considerable effort to install. After placing bait inside and thoroughly checking the equipment, he sets up several more traps, preparing for a long, thrilling night. The next morning, John and his wife return to the trap site with eager anticipation. From a distance, chaotic noises signal that the boar herd has been caught. They're not too surprised, as last night, around 8 p.m., the boars had swarmed into the trap to feed. With a simple maneuver, John activated the iron trap, locking them inside. What a sight! Before him is a herd of gray-black boars, not overly large but uniformly sized. They panic, charging into the iron bars, creating resounding crashes that echo through the forest. About 20 boars, each one fierce and formidable. Without hesitation, John draws his rifle and swiftly takes down each boar. They pay the price for the countless nights of destroying the vegetable garden and threatening the peace of his home. Once finished, the entire herd is quickly removed from the trap and loaded onto the truck. In addition to the trap already set, last night John activated several others, particularly in the backyard. Around 10 p.m., a massive herd of boars swarmed in, silently munching on the bait scattered on the ground. Waiting for the perfect moment, John swiftly triggered the traps, locking the troublemakers inside. This morning, brimming with uncontainable excitement, John and his wife hurried to check the traps. The sight left both John and the neighbors in awe. The trapped herd was unprecedented in size, including massive boars with distinctive gray-black coats and smaller ones with mottled or striped patterns like watermelons. This was undoubtedly the largest herd John had ever caught. After taking down the entire herd with his rifle, the neighbors eagerly pitched in to help John remove the boars from the traps. They didn't just assist, they shared in the joy of eliminating the pests that had caused so much trouble for the area. With their help, John quickly loaded the boars onto the truck, saving immense time and effort. With this triumph, they certainly deserve to celebrate with a hearty wild boar feast. It's wonderful to share the joy with neighbors and savor the fruits of a thrilling night of hunting together. After dealing with the trap near the house, John moved on to check the final trap located at the edge of the forest. The distance wasn't too far, so he decided to take action that morning. Upon arriving, he noticed the trapped boar herd wasn't large, but with about 10 animals, it was still an excellent haul. The boars crowded together, frantically searching for an escape, but their efforts were futile against the sturdy iron trap. This time, John decided to capture them all alive. To prepare, he brought a large truck bed and planned to herd each wild boar into it. However, the task was far from easy. The boars were cunning, sensing the imminent danger and resisting fiercely. Each boar fought to break free, making it harder than ever to control them. It took a long time, but John and his wife eventually managed to coax each boar into the truck, concluding a tense but highly successful hunting trip. The final task of the day was to check the large trap John had set up the previous night. Since the boar herd had been confined since evening, there was no need to rush. The previous night, in his excitement, John had decided to check the trap right away. Upon arriving, he couldn't help but feel satisfied. The entire herd was securely contained within the iron trap. With that, they returned home, eagerly anticipating the results to be harvested the next morning. This morning, they returned to the trap's location, and eliminating the wild boars was much easier. The herd included large boars with thick, glossy black fur, creating an impressive sight. Now, the remaining task was to load the entire herd onto the truck and transport them back. Although John was still considering how to handle the boars, the immediate priority was to complete the job at hand. These results called for celebration, and perhaps a wild boar feast would be a fitting reward for the local community. Never before had John trapped so many wild boars, and it was truly an exhilarating feeling. With the help of neighbors and meticulous preparation, he successfully eliminated the destructive herd.
We got a little battery.